All right. We're going to do this round two. For those of you guys logging in who had a few technical difficulties with our audio, you guys should be able to hear us now loud and clear. I'm James Laster, Master Financial Planner, CEO of Laster Financial Consultants. Thank you guys for logging in. Thank you guys for being a part. Thank you guys for contributing to all that we're doing. We definitely want to thank all of you who are current clients. You're diving in to uncharted territories. This is where we come together as a community, answer your questions. You guys can ask questions. We answer your questions. If you're watching on the playback, just put your questions inside of the chat box. We'll definitely respond there. Or you can catch your question on our next podcast or announcement. For those of you guys who are listening to us, whether it's on Facebook, on The Laster Financial, on Facebook, YouTube, or on LinkedIn, or any other social media platform that's out there. Welcome one, welcome all. We thank you guys for being a part. Tonight, we're talking about how to leverage your expenses, how to use your expenses to be able to grow wealth from your expenses. Pretty cool. Great conversation to have. So what we want to do is just get after it, right? We definitely want to have that conversation. We definitely want to talk about what we need to do to start growing our wealth based upon how we will like to leverage our expenses, right? So as we're going to have this conversation, as we're going to be having these conversations, definitely want to let you know that this conversation is not just, it's for everybody. It's for every doggone body, right? Because if you're living it, if you can hear my voice right now, you have what we call expenses. You have expenses, okay? And if you have expenses, guess what you have to cover those expenses? Income, right? You got to have some form of income, all right? So if you got to have some form of income, that's where we want to start the conversation with, what to do with that income when you get it. What to do with that income when you get it. So as we're getting set up here, you guys are logging in, definitely get a pencil and a pad. We're going to go over a couple items, just so that we're all on the same page here. Where are we at? There we go. All right. So let's get after it. Okay. So we obviously, we have a proprietary program. It's called the Flow to Grow, right? It's a true cash flow management program that's, quite honestly, it's been around for centuries, right? Banking and insurance has been around for centuries. Okay. But this program has literally been around for decades. And, many folks, they knew about it. They know about it. They just don't talk about it. It's not the average, what do you want to call it? It's not the average, public information. It's kind of like you're supposed to just figure all this stuff out on your own, right? So what we do within our program is we educate all of you on this program, what's been going on for decades, how to do your due diligence and understand this program, but more importantly, how to apply the program. Listen to what I'm saying. Okay. There's three levels of learning. Right? So level number one is where you get to appreciate knowledge. Knowledge is raw information that's pumped to you. You can get that information by, reading, watching videos, in-person presentations like this is, you're receiving information. Okay. Now, the second category of learning, right? It's just not knowledge. The second point of it is understanding. It's understanding. Did you comprehend all the information that you received? All that knowledge, did you comprehend the knowledge? That's understanding. But category number 3 is where the rubber hits the road. It's called wisdom. Now, within wisdom is, are you able to apply what you have learned? Are you able to apply what you've learned? And that is the goal for tonight. It's for you to understand how to leverage your expenses. How to leverage your expenses, not mine. Not your neighbors, not the Joneses, but your expenses for long-term wealth. How do you leverage your expenses for long-term wealth? We're going to cover a little bit of ground this evening. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and give the disclaimer. I want to give the disclaimer that this education is only as good as when you use it. All right. So if you don't use any of this, it's not going to be beneficial to you. Okay. Let's see what we have here. There we go. The second thing that I want to share is we have all of our contact information in the chat box. We're all licensed professionals here. We're supported by nonprofit organizations on behalf of financial literacy. And our sole purpose is to take the fear out of finances through education. So we're trying to see if there's a way or a means for us to be a resource to you. Okay. And if we can't, hopefully we can guide you in the right direction, everything that we're talking about. But if we can, well, there's a process and procedure of how we do everything. So, as we're having this conversation, the best thing to do is to chime in. Throw some comments inside the comment box. Be a part of this conversation because this conversation is a very potent conversation. It's a conversation that pretty much everybody in America right now, especially due to inflation, needs to have that conversation when you're talking about your finances and things that you should be doing or things that you should be addressing as it pertains to your finances, right? So by all means, your fam, we love you. Be a part of this conversation. Let's see where it leads us to. Got it? All right, here we go. So we have this program. It's called the Flow to Grow program. And as we're talking about how to leverage your expenses, we're really talking about how to index your expenses, or shall I say, how to index your cash flow using our proprietary Flow to Grow program. Okay, and it's news. It's a big news flash. This is nothing new. This has been going on for years. Okay, and banks have been around for obviously centuries. Right, there's always been a place to store the money. Okay, there's always been currency. Okay. However, the way that they put this together, the way that they do it, it's a matter of fact, right? This is private information. It's as if you were just supposed to figure it out on your own type of deal, right? So if you go to the FDIC website, you'll be able to do your first step of due diligence and see how banks operate. On our Federal Reserve System, how do banks operate? What is it that they are doing that many people need to learn how to do, right? Well, the secret sauce is, and it's no secret, is how they utilize life insurance. There you go. So many of you guys, when you talk to us and you are activating your financial GPS, and by the way, if you like to activate your financial GPS, reach out to us in the comment box. But as you are activating your financial GPS, we tend to ask you about, your life insurance. Do you have any? What kind do you have? Is it term? Is it some form of permanent insurance? Why? These are wealth questions. Do you have a life insurance policy protecting your income? Having a death benefit for when you're no longer here, because it's the only insurance that you are 100% going to use. You're going to die, right? So enjoy life now, right? But you have a plan. God forbid that time comes too soon. Well, banks have already thought about that, and they figured out a way to how to utilize life insurance inside of their everyday business dealings. We're going to learn about how to leverage your expenses, right? So as we're talking about how to leverage your expenses using life insurance, well, you're supposed to have it because it has a better growth rate. You're not going to lose any money. I don't care about inflation. I don't care about the stocks or the bonds. If you have a form of life insurance, that life insurance is not going to lose its worth. Okay, so you can have a life insurance policy that it has competitive returns and it's risk free, like zero market risk. Now the other thing is tax deferred growth. Tax deferred growth, tax deferred going in, tax free coming out. We're going to show you how to do that. Right. The other thing is that all of the funds here are liquid and accessible. Meaning you don't need, a sob story, great credit. It's your money, right? So you're able to pull it out that way, right? Key person protection. You're supposed to have this, right? Especially if you're a business owner or if you have a family, you're supposed to have it, right? And what if you don't have a family? This is something that it's totally mind-boggling to me. Forgive me for getting on my soapbox here. But one of the conversations, there's like three kinds of conversations that I have when I'm talking to clients about life insurance, right? You have that one client that goes, I'm not trying to make my kids rich when I die. Okay, maybe not your kids. What about your kids' kids? What about your kids' kids' kids? Right? Down to the third and fourth generation. Now, what is that looking like for you? What's going on there? Right? And you'll find that the wealthiest people, that's what they're doing. Okay? That's literally what they're doing. They're setting up for the next generation. All right? That's just common sense financial planning. Why somebody wouldn't want to do that? That's a struggle with me trying to understand that mind frame. I love my family very dearly. I love them very much. So I want to make sure that, God forbid, I'm no longer here, that they're taken care of. Just thinking. All right. Number two, you come across people who say, well, I have no next of kin. I have no other family. Okay. So you mean tell me there's no charity that you can support? There's no nonprofit organization out there that just really, their mission just really captures you? No. Because that point simply says if your plan ends with you, when your plan ends when you die, you're dreaming too small. You're thinking too small. All right, we need to broaden that out. So just stay with us. All right. So anyways, the next thing is the plan that you have has high contribution limits. All my business owners love this one. All the companies that we work with, they love that part right there. All the people who are, they feel like they're behind on their savings, they love this part because there's no restrictions from the IRS of how much you can put inside of your policy. More than a 401k, more than an IRA, more than a Roth. This is the sweet spot right here. Many people are jumping ship from the modern day 401k to an index universal life policy for this reason. Okay. So all the banks are doing it. All the credit card companies are doing it. If you have a mortgage on your home, the bank that has your mortgage, they have a policy on you, and they have a policy on the property. God forbid you default on your property, they're going to get paid either way. They get paid when you live, and they get paid when you die. And the beautiful part of it, you're paying for it. They are the beneficiary. They are the owner. You're the insured. Okay, so just think about it, and this is how we start leveraging our expenses. Once we start to understand this, everybody's doing this. Are you? Many NFL players, NBA players, they have an index universal life policy. Do you? Okay, great if you do. How are you managing that? Do you have the right kind? Do you have the right kind of life insurance, which is the index kind, the index universal life kind, the permanent insurance kind? Do you have that? You know, these policies can be literally set up, right? These policies can literally be set up that you hold on to them for 7 years and then you don't have to pay anymore. It lives on its own, but it continues to accumulate cash value. That's why it kind of sickens me when I hear gurus, if you will, and they're not really gurus. Let's just say they're more well known. And they say, buy term, invest the rest, buy term, invest the rest, buy term, invest the rest. What happens when your term runs out and it's time to renew? Are you able to get that same coverage? And somebody who's an agent of those buy term, invest the rest, they will say, well, yes, you can renew your coverage. But yeah, you're freaking 30 years older now. How much is that going to cost? And depending on your age, is it going to increase annually? Why? Because 97% of the time, term policies do not pay out because they know you're going to live. It's a huge cash cow for the insurance industry to sell you term life insurance policies. Buy term, invest the rest. So when people do that, normally they do not invest the rest. They spend the rest. And then more importantly, the reason why I love index universal life policies is because they have this one feature in here that I just love. It comes with disability and long-term care benefits. Social Security says 1 in 4 people are going to file for disability benefits. So shouldn't you have disability benefits? Shouldn't those disability benefits be portable? Meaning you can switch from job to job to job, switch positions, but you still have that coverage. Isn't that pretty cool? Pretty cool, right? Okay. So as you're looking at it, in this mind frame, that's when we come to the foundation of the Flow to Grow program. Flow to Grow. The more you flow, the more you grow. Okay, but you got to flow your money. You got to financially leverage opportunities for wealth. This is what you got to do. So you got to flow your money, and the way you flow your money is a series of transactions that once you pick up on how easy it is, and you start doing it, you can start growing wealth today. Right? Just start understanding that, and then life starts to get good. Okay. So that being said, as we're checking out this Flow to Grow program, check it out. We're simply indexing your money. That means the total ledger balance of all the money you're spending on your expenses, it's going to be indexed, meaning that when the market is up, your ledger balance is making money. Right? So we're talking about all your gains. No losses, all your gains is on the up and up and up and up. Right? And as this is happening, statistically, it shows that if you would have started indexing your money about 20 years ago, you'd be sitting north of $300,000. That's just based on a $100,000 average. You just put money in, did not add a dime, a penny. After just put $100,000 in. But if you're in the stock market, you're sitting short of $200,000. Now I want you to think about that with inflation. I want you to think about that with market duress. I want you to think about that with taxes, which is getting ready to increase. Just think about that. Just absorb that for a moment. Just digest that for a moment. Okay? So now we have to start thinking, okay, so we're going to spend this money anyway. Right? That's totally going to happen. So how are we going to flow our money? How are we going to flow our money? Okay. Well, most people, when they make their money, they got the check-ins and the savings and the savings and the checking. Okay. So they got a job, they got investments, however that works. and it gets deposited inside of their savings. And from their savings, they calculate their expenses, right? They calculate their expenses, and then they go to pay bills. So in that model right there, that money is spent, but you never see it ever again. That money is spent, but you never see it ever again. Okay? So this is the difference in what we are trying to teach here, is that that's the old way. That's the Wall Street way. That's how they make more money off of you. Okay? But you get, make money in this hand, immediately goes over to the next hand. It's done. You don't see that money ever again. Okay? I call that generational poverty. Right? So, what's the difference? The difference is you get paid on day one. Okay? That goes inside your savings account. But day two, you flow that money through your index universal life policy. And when I say flow, that means you're going to take your money, you're going to pay it into your policy as premium, and then you're going to take a loan for it and pull it right back out and put it inside your checking account. Right? So day two, you're going to flow that money inside your index universal life policy. But on day three, you're going to take a loan out of your policy and put that money right back inside your checking account. Now, this is not a loan that you have to pay back. The collateral for the loan is the cash value and the death benefit inside the policy. So you don't have to pay this loan back. Number two. By taking a loan, you never disturb interest. So the larger the loan balance is, the more interest crediting you receive. Let me say that one more time. The larger your loan balance is, as it grows, that's what's getting the interest crediting. So when we're talking about indexing, and we're talking about the market making gains and growing, as your ledger balance grows from the amount of loans that you're taking out of your policy, that's what is getting the index credits. So that's what we mean by leveraging your expenses. By leveraging your expenses. Here, I'm going to give a quick financial example. And in this example, it's the assumption of your bills being, I don't know, let's say $5,000 a month. Let's just say, or let's say you can save $1,000 a month. 20% of 1,000 is $5,000. Okay. And I don't know, let's just say, for giggles, your monthly bills, your monthly expenses are $4,000 a month. $4,000 a month. Okay. So you take 5,000 and you flow it through your policy. You'll leave the 1,000 there for savings, but you'll pull out the 4,000. You'll pull out the 4,000. And as you look at the example, on one side, on this side over here, you have the money that you're saving. That's that $1,000 that's saving. And then, right here on this side right here, this is the amount of money that you're going to be spending. The amount the amount over here, over there, okay, you're earning 7% there. Not bad. But the amount right here, the amount up here, okay, it's earning 7%, but there's a 3.5% loan fee. So there's 3.5% arbitrage. That arbitrage, based upon the amount of money that you're pulling out of that policy, and in the example we just said, we got 1,000 that we're going to leave over here, and we got 4,000 that's coming up here. So that $1,000 that's over there, that $1,000 that's over there is earning 7%. This $4,000 is money that you're going to spend anyway. It's earning 3% or more. It's earning 3% or more. Okay? That's leverage. That right there is leverage. Okay? Now, as we're talking about this leverage, you got day one, just as we're right, day one, you get paid. But on day two, you have money that's being placed inside of that policy. And as is inside of that policy, my goodness, it's grown at an average of 7%. And as it grows at an average of 7%, it's growing by way of the S&P 500. There's a cap on that. So that means you are a priority. That means your policy has to make that amount of money. It has to make more than that amount of money so that the insurance companies can make their money. Okay? Not bad. There's a 0% floor, which means you're never going to lose that money. That's written in the contract, which means if you're flowing money, you have an astronomically large death benefit. Now, the reason why I get excited about the death benefit inside these life policies, I know we're talking about leveraging expenses and so forth, but that large death benefit, 50% of it, that's your disability. That's your long-term care. That's your lifestyle insurance right there. That your quality of life never has to be reduced because of a medical adversity. And if you stay in a program long enough, your lifestyle does not have to meet its demise when you stop working. I know many of you guys, know of other people who have retired and they're on like a fixed income or something like that. You don't have to be one of those people. You just don't. Right? So the other reason why I get excited about this program is because, basically, if you can calculate your expenses and take 20% and save 20% of whatever your expenses are, right? This is the name of the game, people. This is the name of the game, all right? What I need you to do is calculate your monthly expenses. Calculate your monthly expenses. And based upon your monthly expenses, you need to be saving 20%. You need to be saving 20% based upon your monthly expenses, okay? So let's say, your monthly expenses are $3,000. That means you need to be saving $600 a month. 20% of $3,000 is $600 a month, right? So that means you're going to be flowing $3,600. You're saving $600 inside of your policy. You're taking a loan back out for the other $3,000. It's an 80-20 mix. Just make it simple. 80-20. Now, I have some people who are a little bit more aggressive. They're doing a 70-30. And I have some other people that's way more aggressive than that, and they're doing 60-40. What's your flow number? That's the question. What's your flow number? Okay? What's your flow number that you're willing to commit to? Start with 20% of your savings. Now, some people can't afford to save 20%. Maybe there's some type of debt. Start off with a 90-10. Save something. A fool spends everything that they earn. How many of you have been foolish before? Right? Okay, it's all good. It's all good. No guilt, no condemnation here. Just trying to take some soda truth. So whatever that amount is, you take that amount out. You take a loan and you place it inside of your checking account. Now, as soon as you put it inside your checking account, all the money that you have loaned back out to yourself from your policy is now earning 3.5%. So go ahead and pay your bills on whatever you normally are going to pay your bills on. Okay? But as you're paying your bills on them, you're getting 3% back. This is how you leverage your expenses. You're getting 3% or more back on all the money you are spending. For how long? For the rest of your freaking lives. Lifetime residuals? Yes. Okay. Tax-free? Yeah, that's not bad, right? Not bad. Okay. For the rest of your freaking life. So you spend it one time. You take a loan from it. You spend it one time. Most people will never see that money ever again. If you flow it, you will. You will see it and benefit from it. Your kids will see it and benefit from it. Your grandkids will see it and benefit from it. And your great grandkids will see it and benefit from it. Okay? So I want to just share some financial examples with you guys. I've shared this before, but it's the easiest way to more or less to understand what we're talking about here. And I'll provide some. I'll try to provide some form of how can I say it? Just understanding here, if you can bear with me. But what we're really trying to do is just try to really just enlighten you guys with an example of what this program means to a lot of people. Okay. So let's just say we want to replace expenses. Like you got expenses right now, and we want to replace those expenses. Okay. So here's an example. Got $100,000. Okay. $100,000. This is their 20% savings right here in this example. But $100,000 will go inside of the policy as way of premium. And then take a loan out over the course of the year for $80,000 in the form of a loan. That means the out-of-pocket savings will be $20,000. So sometimes, a lot of you, you'll reach out to us and say, okay, well, tell me about this program for me. Well, how much does it cost is the question. Let's knock out that piece of understanding real quick. How much can you save? How much are you willing to save over the course of a year? How much are you willing to dedicate and commit yourself and be disciplined and save over the course of 7 years? 7 years. Here, let me show you what just 7 years can do. Just 7 years. Just 7 years, right? So you save $100,000, take a loan for $80,000, leave $20,000. That's year one. Okay, so now you got $20,000 plus the $12,000. That's your cash value balance, right? And let's say you did it for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Look what happens here on year 7, right? I marvel at this part right here. Year 7, you got 100,000 going in. Oops, I'm sorry. Year 8. I'm sorry about that. You got 100,000 go in, and then 100,000 coming back out. Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Right? 100,000 went in, 100,000 went out. So you did a couple things here, and just bear with me here. You met the premium requirement. That most life insurance policy have you. There's a premium required. Money went in. You immediately took that money out. Right? So you didn't leave anything there. Right? So there's no out-of-pocket cost. It's just, I guess, the crazy inconvenience of you to flow your money, and in 3 days that money is back inside of your account. You're spending it, but you're still earning 3%. 3 days will get you 3%. 3 days will earn you 3%. You know what? Somebody put that in the chat box. I think that's going to be one of our new slogans. 3 days will earn you 3%. Man, that's awesome. Okay. So anyways. Those funds go in, 100,000 go in, 100,000 go out. 100,000 go in, 100,000 go out, 100,000 go in. Year 10, 100,000 comes out. What happens? Year 11 through 20, no money is going in. $0 going in. However, 41,675 is coming out in the form of a loan. Okay? And once again, that was 10 years of putting money in. Now you have years 11, no money going in, but now there's a cost of living increase at 5%, right? Year 13, no money in, more money coming in. Year 20, still no money going in, but you have 64,000 coming back out, right? Year 21, no money going in, but 67,000 is coming out. Year 28, At age 62, no money coming in, but $95,000 coming out. And how much money were we flowing at the beginning? $100,000. Come on, people. Putting $100,000 in and then pulling it out years 8, 9, 10 and then not putting any more money in. And you mean to tell me that you have income for life that you cannot outlive? Hold on. I'm going to take you back to the screen and I want to highlight something really interesting real quick. Okay. Look at age 72, where most people are going to be taking required minimum distributions so they can be taxed. In this example, at age 72, $155,000 are coming in, and there's a cash value of $832,000. Okay? Okay? Come on now. Now, if you're the recipient of this policy, you're about 78 years old, you're getting $200,000 tax free, and you got $1.1 million inside your policy. Come on now. Come on. This is how we're talking about leveraging your expenses. This is how to leverage your expenses, right? You factor in how much are your expenses right now or how much will they be in the future. Now, once you have done this, you have the canny ability to just start saving accordingly. Okay. So as you save accordingly, okay, after a time, you don't need to save no more. Now, here's a side note. Here's a golden goose egg right here. The longer you save, the more that beginning income will be for the rest of your life. So that's kind of my subtle encouragement, my subtle push for anybody that's in high school, anybody that's in college. Get this style of policy and start saving right now. How do you save? Inside your policy. This is your new retirement plan right here. Okay? Because the retirement plan, because if you die, it gets the living benefits for long-term care and disabilities. But more importantly, it's the only policy that's going to pay you back over your life for the rest of your life. Pretty cool concept. Okay? And so this is how we're teaching people how to leverage their expenses. This is how we're sharing with people. This is what you need to do to start getting on the right track. This is what you need to do to be able to start making a difference in your financial life. This is what you need to do if you're going to have a mortgage and you need to, maintain the house. By using this program, by the way, if you saw how it works, you get to accelerate your mortgage and cut your mortgage payment time in half. Right? Depending on your cost of mortgage, you can do this in 12 to 15 years. For many of you, you're getting a 30-year mortgage, right? A 30-year fix. And if you got a 20-year fix, it's even more exciting, right? Because if you can battle it out for 7, 8 years, let's say 10 years, you can pay that mortgage off literally in half the time. So what are you waiting on, right? We're talking about leveraging your expenses to generate wealth. Now, the one part that I didn't share with you is, well, it's just too doggone simple to add the rest of your family in and get them covered as well. Come on, people. I thought you said you loved them. Basically, what we're teaching is how to leverage your expenses. And folks, you're not paying us. You're paying yourself. You're paying yourself. So I just wanted to be able to share that with folks. Make sure that we all are on the same path on how we are building out our cases, building out our policies. Here's food for thought as we're leaving for today. Okay. What we do here is we invite you. We invite you to activate your financial GPS so you can get a bird's eye view of your entire financial picture. And as you get a view of your financial picture, you then learn a little bit about yourself. You learn about your spending habits, your psychological behaviors about money, how you feel about money, what you know about money. You see your big picture. What do you have saved? How far you have to go? When can you retire? What are your taxes going to look like? Now, how long is it going to take you to pay off your debts? How well are your investments performing? And so many more, and so many more, right? Definitely you have a will, a trust, a power of attorney, a medical directive. We want to help you get those put in place because we protect people, not things. We protect people, not things. Okay. So definitely if you got any questions, reach out to the team. We ask that you keep your appointments and just know we are going to call you to confirm your appointment. So expect that call. And lastly, we hope that you're a receiver because we're all givers. We're going to give you probably more than you can handle. But we're going to hold your hand and walk you through all the way through. So I thank you guys. God bless. Have a blessed weekend. Spend lots of time with your family, with friends. Love on them. Tell them we said hi. You guys take care and be well.